It has come to my notice that a good number of K-pop fans have a fetish. And it is called suffering. Because some of y'all do too much with this whole idol suffering fetish. It's like y'all are auditioning to be the judges of the Suffering Olympics, with every stan account fighting to declare their faves as the most oppressed, the most deserving, and the most traumatized. Let me just say it, your obsession with hardship as a marker of authenticity or worthiness is gross, dehumanizing, and borderline sadistic. First things first, not every idol has to come from rock bottom to deserve their success. But for some reason, fans love to treat hardship as the ultimate qualifier. It's like if an idol didn't starve during their trainee days, sleep in a cramped dorm, or face insurmountable odds, they're not worthy. Why? Take BTS, for example. Their rise from a small company to global superstardom is inspiring, but fans have weaponized this story to dismiss others. Suddenly, if a group comes from a well-funded label, they're privileged and didn't work as hard. Here's a wild idea: can we just acknowledge that every idol works hard? Whether you're from a major label or an underdog company, debuting in K-pop means sacrificing a lot. Let's get real, privilege exists. Some idols come from wealthy families or well-connected backgrounds. But does that mean they don't work hard? Of course not. Jennie from Blackpink is a prime example. She's constantly called privileged because of her upbringing and the training opportunities she had at YG Entertainment. Yet, she's one of the most hardworking and versatile performers in the industry. So why does her privilege overshadow her talent? Fans love to throw around the term "Nepo baby" without understanding the pressure these idols face. Privilege might open doors, but it doesn't guarantee success. Idols like Espoz Giselle have faced relentless scrutiny because of their backgrounds, often having to prove their worth 10 times over. Meanwhile, fans conveniently forget that many of their faves, yes, even from struggling groups, benefit from systemic advantages like company backing or viral moments. And honestly, the way some of y'all foam at the mouth over privileged idols is more about jealousy than actual critique. Here's where it gets truly pathetic: fans turning suffering into a competition. Oh, my fave trained for 7 years and lived off cup noodles, your fave only trained for 3 and had a rich family. This kind of narrative isn't just toxic, it's downright embarrassing. Why are you out here comparing how miserable someone's life was, as if it makes them more talented? This obsession also blinds fans to the fact that suffering should not be a prerequisite for success. Yes, many idols have faced unimaginable hardships, but that doesn't make it acceptable to romanticize these experiences or expect every idol to have a tragic backstory. The focus should be on improving the industry so fewer idols have to endure such conditions, not celebrating trauma as a rite of passage. Here's where it gets dark. By glorifying idols' hardships, fans are indirectly condoning the exploitative practices of the K-pop industry. Trainee abuse, toxic diets, overwork, and poor mental health care? Y'all eat it up because it makes for a better sob story. Let me ask you this: if your fave didn't have to starve themselves, practice until their feet bled, or endure years of rejection, would you stan them less? If the answer is yes, you need to do some serious soul-searching. The goal should be to make the industry less harmful, not celebrate the fact that it chews people up and spits them out. Let's not ignore how privilege accusations are often just a cover for fan wars. If you're a multi-stan, you've probably seen this: one fandom accusing another group of having it easy to discredit their success. Your group only made it because their company is rich. Your faves don't deserve their fame because they didn't struggle enough. It's all so tiring. The thing is, these arguments rarely come from a genuine critique of privilege, they're just a way to drag other groups. Take Blackpink again. They're constantly criticized for having the YG privilege, but does anyone stop to think about the insane pressure that comes with representing one of the big 3 companies? Meanwhile, groups from smaller companies are dismissed as irrelevant unless they have some viral moment. It's all just a mess. This obsession with privilege and suffering has turned K-pop into a battlefield where fans weaponize idols' backgrounds to fuel their own insecurities. Instead of enjoying the music and performances, fans are too busy tearing each other down in a misguided attempt to validate their favorites. Let's not forget how this toxicity affects idols themselves. Those labeled as privileged are constantly under pressure to prove their worth, while those with suffering stories are forced to relive their pain for public consumption. Neither is fair, and both perpetuate the toxic environment that K-pop is trying to move away from. At the end of the day, this obsession with suffering and privilege is doing nothing but dragging the K-pop community down. It reduces idols to their circumstances instead of celebrating their achievements. It creates unnecessary divisions between fandoms and fuels toxic behavior that hurts everyone involved. K-pop is about music, performance, and connection. Let's leave the trauma fetishizing and privilege policing in the trash where it belongs. And if you can't appreciate an idol without making their pain part of your narrative, maybe it's time to log off.